Let's go.
Wednesday afternoon.
Quality of the Football League. I mean, it's obviously a high quality. Possibly it matches the top teams in Germany, Spain, Italy. But overall, it's a more competitive league. I mean, one exception, maybe, I'm pleased to say, is our manager at Palace, that Oliver Glasner, an Austrian guy who came with good credentials from a German club. He actually won the Europe Conference Cup, so he's got that on his CV. And it has to be said, he's done pretty well. It did very well last part of last season. We finished 11th, I think it was. Bad start to this season, whatever reason, but they've picked that up and they've done pretty well since. Not so much at home. Palace lost again on Saturday at home to Everton, which was a bit of a blow because, that was one we might have expected to do better at. But otherwise, Oliver Glasner, I mean, if you ever listen to his press conferences, he's a clearly very bright, intelligent guy. He knows his football. He's committed, and we hope he's committed at Palace because obviously, managers can get fired if they're not moving visibly forward. But I think he'll be okay. So some managers come here and do very well. Others don't seem to, and I wonder sometimes if that's, as I said, they don't get given the chance to do what they can do. And of course, many of them come without English as their main language, and they have to learn that. They do, for the most part, they do very well. But it's a different game. We know in the reverse, Graham Potter and Roy Hodgson both went to Sweden, for example, and coached and managed teams there and did very well in both cases. So it's not unusual for managers to go and work in another country, but maybe there is a differential of quality of competitiveness, as we've said, when they come to England. But in a way, I still think Amorim he was hired to actually finally get hold of the situation and produce a better team, because he's not playing teams which are composed of his players, people he's chosen for the most part. He's working with the players that were there, and it's amazing how many people, fans of Man United, say, well, yeah, the team it's not right now. They've got to get some changes. They need some new blood, and so on. So that will no doubt happen, and I suspect they will give him the time to do that. Otherwise, what do? They sack him and bring somebody else in who's going to have exactly the same problems. So yeah, I hope Amorim stays there. I quite like his press conferences, his personality. He's honest. He's always quite positive, I think. He smiles a lot, and he's probably going through a bit of a tough old time, but I hope they give him time, and I think he'll do okay in the longer term.
Do you know why I'm laughing?
No.
David Moyes.
David Moyes, yeah.
David Moyes is in top form. And where one of our next features is Everton.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's gone back to Everton, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's doing really well.
Yeah.
He's had a real managerial bump up.
Has.
Yeah, that's good.
He has indeed. Yeah. So Manchester United has to face Everton next, I think.
Yeah.
Either next game or the next two games. But yeah, so that is going to be funny.
Yeah. Well, it will be, to see just what happens. I mean, the way it's looking at the moment, I mean, who was it the other day? Somebody said, one of the pundits, it wasn't Gary Neville, but one of the pundits said they couldn't see Manchester United winning another game this season. I can't think who said that, whether it was an ex-player like Gary Neville. I don't think it was him, but that's what...
Soft family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom, Dr. Glad.
Or the next two games. But yeah, so that is going to be funny.
Yeah. Well, it will be, to see just what happens. I mean, the way it's looking at the moment, I mean, who was it the other day? Somebody said, one of the pundits, it wasn't Gary Neville, but one of the pundits said they couldn't see Manchester United winning another game this season. I can't think who said that, whether it was an ex-player like Gary Neville. I don't think it was him, but that's what they said. And, well, I mean, that seems a bit of a strange one, but I think that just shows how far Man United have fallen in the public perception of them. They're just not playing as a team. They've got some decent individuals, people like Casemiro. I mean, he's a very good footballer, but he can't seem to fit into the style of the team. I mean, Harry Maguire's a pretty good defender. I don't know whether he's a bit old now, but he's a good player. But the whole team don't seem to gel. And maybe it was sort of highlighted by Rashford, who probably didn't do them any favours by his attitude. And it was a good thing he went. But it sort of suggested the things were not as they should be there in the dressing room, perhaps, or whatever. So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame to see one of our top, most world-famous teams in disarray, which is what they are. Yeah. But this is what happens, and they'll come back, undoubtedly.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember who our last game was with. Was it Wolves? Was it Wolves?
No, you lost to Spurs, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, Spurs. It was Spurs.
Spurs, 1-0, yeah.
Yeah, it was Spurs. And after the match, Ruben Amorim said the only difference in the game was that they scored and we didn't score, referring to the fact that Manchester United didn't score. And and I thought, when he said that, I thought, is he trying to tell us that he hasn't got strikers? Mind you, he has got a lot of injuries though. Mainoo's down.
Oh, yeah.
Garnacho's down. Ahmad Diallo's down. So basically, is it trying to say that he hasn't got a strike force? I mean, Anthony's gone to Real Battery. He's doing very well, by the way. I keep saying that. He's doing very well. He's got 3 goals in 4 matches.
Very good.
And 2 assists. So he's doing very well. So is it a matter of not defense? Is it a matter of strikers, midfield? What do you think the problem is with Man United?
Yeah, they seem to lack a striker of note, someone who's a known goal scorer, don't they? As you say, the injuries are there.
South Family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday. So join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom.